Hey everyone. So in this next video here, we're just going to be showing, or I'm just going to be time-lapsing drawing the princess, and I've already drawn out the king, but unfortunately I didn't record that because it was on my laptop at the time. But so anyway, well, yeah, we're drawing the princess now. So the idea is that the Vans, the guy on the left there, um, and his king, which is the big dude on the right, and he will be twice as big according to my nephew Matthew. um, the so there's a princess rather, that's come from some far off land, and she is coming into the valley where the Dids and the Vans live, and she's looking for her guy, and well, I don't know if it's really okay. Well, she's looking for she's looking to get married, and so the way it works is these two sides, the Dids and the Vans, are now competing for her hand in marriage. So this is the whole game concept. Is you are trying to rescue the princess, but you're actually just trying to marry the princess and prove how tough and strong you are and stuff like that. I know it's a bit classic, but my nephew's 8 and he thinks that this is what it should be. So and I think it's a fun idea. So anyway, doing the same kind of thing as always. I just started with the same kind of round shape of the stomach that our main van guy has, and then just extended out the dress from her and gave her that same style head and all that fun stuff. And I drew her really small initially because I wanted her to sort of match my van size, but then I realized halfway through that, oh shoot, I should probably draw her bigger because the line work, it's just going to be too low resolution. So I ended up just making a copy of her and scaling it up, and now I'm going in and cleaning up all the line work because now it's really pixelated and it's some bad resolution stuff. So that was my bad. I should have just started big from the start. But you'll see I'm sort of like redrawing each line. I'm erasing away all the jagged edges and then redrawing the line, and that's helpful. Just takes a long time, unfortunately. Takes a real long time. So here we are drawing in some eyes. It seems the second line was actually a mistake. Initially, it was just that was going to be her new line of the dress. But then I looked at it and I was like, oh, that kind of looks like a cape. So instead of just fixing that, let's just leave it there and call it a cape. So I put two little things to connect her cape up. And yeah, so I realized that the hair is way too thick. It's way too thick of a line, and it's just too big. She looked very 50s or 60s, big old hairdo. So I wanted to make her look a little more modern of today's age, so made the hair a lot smaller. Still big though. Trying to decide if I want that thing to go in or out. I decided to go out just because it was a different flow than all the other curves around her neck. Anything else might have looked layered or like a mistake perhaps. So I decided to go for a bend in the other direction. So this is how I've always been doing them. I just create a new layer at the bottom and just call it color base, and I fill in the entire character with a single color, and I use this then as a mask, a clipping mask for all my other layers on top, which are going to be isolating color into specific areas. So you see I just made a new layer on top of that color layer, then I held down Alt, and if I hover between the two layers, the icon will change, the little mouse cursor will change, and it creates what they call a clipping mask. And so now anything you draw on that new layer won't go outside of the bounds of the layer you drew previously. So now I'm going in and like making a layer called hair and just painting it all gold, a layer called eyes, and the thing is I do still have to be careful about where like the hair meets the face, but I don't have to worry about where the hair meets the background. That's all sorted out for me now. So, and once I've sort of carefully gone through and painted a solid color for each one of the different sections, like her hair, her eyes, her dress, etc., then I can lock transparency on that layer, which is that little button at the top of the layer stack. It's the furthest from it's furthest to the left. Just looks like a transparency button. And you see I just clicked them all on, so all those layers have lock transparency now. So now I can't paint outside of that layer's where color has been laid down on that layer. So it's really helpful for adding in shadows and highlights, because I can be very sloppy now and just concentrate only on where I want to place the shadows and not have to worry about going over the edges or overlapping anywhere. So this part, then it starts going really fast, and this is, I think, the most fun when you get all the base colors down, and then you can start like playing with the shadows and the light and the colors and all that stuff. So here I'm putting a little bit of shadowing in from like the sun or whatever like the primary light source is, which is kind of top and a little bit to the left. Just shadows around the side of her face and the back of her head. And the way I'm choosing all those colors over there on the right, I start with the base, the middle color, and then to choose the shadow color, I just go in that little color picker box in the top right corner. I just go down and to the right a little bit. So you want to go a little darker and a little more saturated. And then I also take the hue slider, which is the actual, like, what color it is. And if I'm going to a shadow, I want to go a little cooler. So I move it towards the blue. And if I want to go for a highlight, I move it towards a warmer tone. So I would go a little bit more towards that yellow or red. And then again, up and to the left for a highlight. So down and to the right for a shadow, up and to the left for a highlight. And that's talking about that color picker up there. So super helpful. And that's all I really did, is I just went down to the right a little bit and up and to the left a little bit and dropped down a new color. And the great thing is afterwards I can always just modify and change all my colors, however I want. And I do that a lot with this king here, which we'll see in a minute. So now I'm trying to figure out what colors I want for the king. I know I want that skin tone to be the same, so I left that one in there and I deleted everything else. And now I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's gonna have a red outfit on, kind of a royal red. Putting in colors for his leathers, like his gloves and his boots, and then for his beard and his sword. And I'm like, all right, well, I think red's gonna be his color, so I started with the red. And just going through, I created another, same thing as before, a base color. And I'm just going to fill in everything first. So I have that nice and easy to work with. And, as I'm going through and creating this entire character in red, I realized that he might start looking a little bit like Santa Claus. And you guys will see that pretty soon here as I start getting his blue beard in. And blue beard, I don't know why it should be blue, but it just seemed like fun. So I'm just doing the base color first, and I'm going through each different thing, and I'm saying, okay, this is all leathers. So leather's all going to be the same brown. This is all golds. Golds are always going to be the same gold. His cape, which is just some sage green right now for some reason. I don't know. Right now, it's most important just to get a color down, and then you can change that color later. Decide, how you want to blend them, what's harmonious for your character, and what makes sense, and all that stuff. So, here I just decided, okay, well, what about yellow eyes? Because I didn't want to match his eye color to green or blue like the other two characters. I wanted it to be something different. He's a king, so maybe he's got some kind of crazy power. Or maybe he just has yellow eyes for some reason. That works too. This crown, really kind of not sure what to do about those jewel holders up there. So I just ignored it for the time being. I figured I'd be putting jewels in there anyway, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. So just moving on. Little gold buckles. So it's the same gold for all parts of his body. And, when we eventually take this into Unity, it's not going to matter how your layer structures are organized, because we're going to actually be breaking apart everything. We're going to flatten him down and then cut him all up as a flattened character. and then just repaint in the colors, the areas, that are going to be behind his like moving joints. So the layers are really just for you for painting to make your life easier. And I would group them by color, just because you can then adjust, everything that's brown in one shot and everything that's red in one shot. It seems to make a little more sense than trying to like say, okay, this is his buckles gold, this is his crown gold, this is his belt, or rather his sword gold. It's like, no, it's gold. I mean, gold is gold. So don't overcomplicate it for yourself. So yeah, just throwing in some highlights and stuff onto his gloves and leathers. So here I was experimenting with putting in some like big folds back there in the cape, and that's what those shadows were. And I just kind of didn't really know where they should go or how they should look, so I decided just to leave it out. And I didn't put shadows in for his legs because I'm gonna have him moving around. His legs are gonna be moving all over the place, and I don't really want to animate shadows on the back of that cape just for his legs. So here you can see now I'm selecting each part of his body, and I'm messing with the colors, and I'm doing a little bit of curves and hue saturation to find a different color palette for him, because I felt that he looked way too much like Santa Claus. So I decided to go blue because his beard was blue, and now he's kind of matching the colors of my Van character, and he's gonna have elements of the princess in him. And I had to put on some Gorillaz because I was listening to some total bad stuff. All right, so there's a little jewels just dropped in real fast. And this, yeah, I mean, it's so fun because you could just take that curves and just really bump up your contrast. So if your highlight wasn't bright enough and your shadow wasn't dark enough, you could just open up a curves and then make your highlight and shadow brighter and darker to your heart's content. And working in this way is very, very flexible, which is great. And so here I'm just trying to figure out what kind of a design for his shield. And I came up with this. I'm not really 100% sure on it yet. I don't think it really matches the rest of everything. But it's something. So I think I kind of want to go for a round shield on him. So I'll probably change that later. But for now, go with this. So my nephew, Matthew, said that he wanted the character to be like towering over everybody else because he's the king. So I was like this big? And he's like, yeah. So that's how much bigger he is. And that's how much bigger he's going to be in the game. So here I was like, well, this is my simple little game template or test bed. So I dropped the king and a bunch of little vans in just to sort of see what that would look like, and threw the princess back there. And now I'm just creating a bunch of dids and see how that works. And that's it. Thanks for watching.